What's going on, guys? I'm a regular guy with the Regular Guy Firearms channel. Thanks for watching. Now, you guys read the title, and what we're going to talk about today is the difference between tactics or tactical thinking and skills, right? Now, before we get into any of this, because I believe that there's a lot of wrong-headedness that approaches certain things, because let's be honest, a lot of people don't read no more, and a lot of people will lose the meaning of certain words based on context clues from what they see all around them, essentially. And in this industry, in the gun guy industry, the word tactical is so oversaturated and stuff like that that a lot of guys lose the meaning of the actual word. Okay, now, when we talk about tactical, it works in tandem with the word strategic. Okay, now, you can't have one without the other, and they rely upon each other quite a bit. Now, strategic plan is big thinking, overall goals, overall thought processes, right? And the first thing that a lot of guys think about when they think about strategic planning is like war fighting and stuff like that, where the strategic plan would be, for instance, Second World War. Overall goal, defeat the Germans and the Japanese, right? And then we would divide that overarching goal, obviously, into specific theaters. So then we have the European theater, or the strategic plan for the European theater, and then the Pacific theater. So we're thinking massive landscapes, lots of people, a lot of time, and a lot of planning, whereas we're not focused on where the individual like squads of dudes are. We're talking about divisions. We have a big map here, and there's big arrows just pointing massive amounts of people going in this direction or this direction. Make sense? Now, in a tactical battle space, or in a tactical realm, okay, the tactical realm are the little things required incrementally to achieve said strategic goal. Okay, for instance, in order to secure the beachheads at D-Day, you needed to secure all of the MSRs, or the major supply routes, big roads, essentially, to prevent enemy reinforcements and armor, and to allow for your supplies and manpower to get off the friggin' beach. Now, in that tactical battle space, you're relying on paratroopers to secure the roadways so that the main force could reinforce them and all that other stuff. Okay, the tactical stuff is smaller scale. Okay. Now, within the tactical space, you have the tactics that help you achieve said tactical thinking. Now, tactics reinforce the known and the unknown. In other words, they give you a plan. The known meaning we're going in this direction, we're probably going to deal with issues or bad guy resistance, whatever. And the unknown would be all of the what ifs. Okay, what if bad guy armor reinforcements are coming to schwack our freaking paratroopers? What happens? And this is on the individual unit level. What happens if I get banged up or you get banged up? Or what if along the way certain really important equipment gets broken? What's the plan from there? Okay, how do we still achieve our tactical goal? And that revolves around our individual tactics. Now, we're moving into skills. Skills are the prerequisites for all of these things. Okay, you base all of this planning on what you believe that you can or can't do, or how you can or can't think under certain situations, right? Skills are, can your rifleman hit stuff well, okay, with a rifle? Do they have the skills to use a recoilless rifle? Do they have the skills to build up a real hasty bridge or something like that? All of that is based on the individual level. What can you do that influences our thinking? Now, I understand I talked for a while on the military side of the house, but a lot of you may or may not have already started to think on, okay, first of all, how does this affect me? And two, maybe this strategic plan for me is blah blah blah, and that's great. For those of you that aren't, and for those of you that are wondering what this has to do with anything, and what this has to do with just a regular dude on the street, is okay. Our strategic plan for carrying a gun every day and going to all these classes and going to get taught and learn and studying and all of this stuff. The overarching goal, the strategic plan, is protect you and yours, right? Now, that's great. That is great to have as far as an overarching goal. Now, in the moment, we have to start thinking about a tactical space, meaning a small space, meaning, okay, what is the plan for X and Y and Z? Okay. How do we deal with certain things? What tactics are we going to employ to better serve the overarching goal? Meaning, if you're in a restaurant or something like that, okay, you sit facing the door, so that, and in a place individually that you can get out of that seat rather easily and stuff like that. How are we going to deal with having to change the angles and stuff? If we draw a pistol on some fool, and in the middle of that whole process, we get the what ifs, like, okay, I got a gun on some guy, and in the middle of me and him, some freaking wheelchair bound chick who just survived like 14 treatments against cancer with little daughter in tow being dragged because she twisted her ankle, freaking Hollywood movie, horror movie style. How do we deal with that? Do we have to change angles? Do we have to do certain things? Now, all of that is changed very, very directly by what skills we possess. Okay. And on the skills side of the house, it's, okay, can I take a 50-yard line shot with a pistol, or would it be wise depending on current situation? Can I hit a 10-inch target? Because if I start trading bullets with fools, that's generally all they give you is a dome piece, especially if they find a good piece of cover or something like that. Do I have the ability to shoot fast enough to deal with this dude and the goon that came with him, before I get shot? Because, again, overarching goal, protect you and yourself and yours, right? So, what can I do, or how do I believe I can think that your skills directly influences your tactics in a tactical space, and that affects the overarching goal or the strategic plan. Okay, this stuff ain't really hard. Now, here's a difference, and here's a couple of ways that I hope I can help you guys out, right? As far as individual skills and stuff like that, marksmanship, evaluation, and grooming, meaning you sharpening your skills as far as marksmanship and stuff like that, and then reinforcing those, getting the gun out the holster faster, shot time, stuff like that. It's really, really heavily skill based, because can you do X in Y under a certain amount of time? It's as simple as that. Can I take accurate pistol shots at certain distances with or without using my front sight post as a focus? For instance, there's a lot of schools of thought out there, valid ones too, that have you either focus on your front sight post, depending on where it is, or focusing more on your threat and letting your hand-eye coordination take over, and that's usually determined by distance, right? When does that switch over? Okay, can I use a pistol in conjunction with a light effectively? Because I don't care what you say, you can get great all day long during the day, but when the lights turn out, it really screws with people, and shot groups open up a lot. You know what I mean? Can I shoot with the other side as well as I can my dominant side? The answer more than likely is no. I know it's no for me. I'm definitely way slower when I go to my right side versus my left. Okay? Can I use my non-dominant eye well? Do I possess? Can I handle stoppages effectively? Stuff like that. Those are all prerequisite skills that you can then use to adjust your tactics. And the tactics would be, okay, if this happens, should I slide in there and take a knee? Or should I change the angle and take a knee? Okay? How exactly should I employ a light? Should I just shine it on the dude, shoot him, and stand there? Or should I spot, move, spot, shot? That type of deal. You know, because there's a lot of different schools of thought, again, for those individual tactics. Now, those thought processes are 100% dependent on these skills. Now, bringing up what I brought up before, a lot of guys tend to mix up the thought processes, meaning I hear a lot that, oh, I like going to this school because it's more tactically based and stuff like that. Or I like going to this school because it's more skills based and stuff like that. Or just blatantly, this is a tactical school and this is a skills school. Okay. So I got a question. When do those two things, like, let's say that you actually do have to shoot some fool. When are those two things separate? They're not. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you could have, as far as your tactics and all of that other stuff, and your scenario-based training and everything else, you could have the best position, the best setup, the best thought processes, the best freaking angle that you could possibly have. All of that thinking could be razor sharp, man. But if you do not possess the skills to take a round that's in your gun and take it from point A, meaning the gun, to point B, his freaking brain box or heart or whatever, to stop all of that from happening, you're fucking up. It's as simple as that, you know. And honestly, the use of one effectively can negate the other. Okay? For instance, you could void the use of all of these tactics and stuff and the use of all of this cover-based everything and having to do all of this quote-unquote tactical shit as far as using cover, changing the angles, all that stuff, and you can basically negate all of that if dude walks in, waves a gun in your direction, and pow, one round and it's over. If you placed it right. If you had the skills to shoot that fool one round straight out of the holster, sub-second, all that jazz, and it's over with, you negated all of that. Or you could negate the use of those skills altogether by setting up proper tactics to avoid the gunfight in the first place. Make sense? And granted, I'm heavily generalizing, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to provoke some thought. Okay? A lot of guys get really mixed up in using one or the other, but they have got to come together. They have got to come together. You want razor fast and razor sharp. I said razor twice. You want to be explosively fast and razor sharp so that when you start shooting that fool, he starts coming apart like the freaking Challenger, okay? But you also have to have your mind right and your tactics correct to where if things go insane, you can adjust from there. Because the overarching goal, the strategic plan, protect you and yours. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the comments box below. If you agree with me or not, throw that in the comments box below. But remember, a regular guy's firearm is the last defense against tyranny. Be easy.